So today we're going to be talking about 3 simple tips to stay on track during summer vacation, because I know we got a lot of us going on vacation soon. So I want to give you 3 things to focus on. That way we can enjoy them to the max and not have to stress. So number 1, when we're talking about not when we're talking about our workouts, don't stress over them. Okay, because it's very easy to get like anxious and like feel like we're missing out because we're not doing our workout in our gym at home or whatever our normal environment is. And we're like, oh, but I have to do my workout, which is great because we've solidified a really good habit. But we don't want that to be like a source of anxiety, because then it's like, what are we even doing these workouts for? The goal is to feel your best so you can enjoy the time on vacation more. And that could take a lot of different versions. Like you could go on walks, you could go on hikes. If you're in a really beautiful spot, like take advantage. We're not all like as lucky as Marissa living on the beach, but you can go wherever you're at and really experience what's around there that you're not normally near. You could kayak, you could swim, you could play in the pool or the ocean with the kids or the grandkids, because everybody here is so fit. They could do that. Okay. Have fun with it. That's like the best thing to do on vacation, is just to have fun and do the things you don't normally do and express how strong you are, express how fit you are, because you can keep up and do all these awesome things. And then when it comes to number 2, don't stress nutrition, because at the end of the day, vacation is going to be vacation. We're going to have things that we don't normally have. We're going to have access to snacks sometimes if we have those families, myself included, who love to stack the pantry with a bunch of crap. And you're just like, well, I can't not eat it. Okay. It's not the end of the world if you have it. It's not, because at the end of the day, 1 week is not going to outdo 51 weeks of good work, or 50 or whatever if you take 2 vacations. Okay. What we're going to experience when you have these nutritional changes is, number 1, glycogen. Okay. You're going to eat carbohydrates a little bit more than normal. Those carbs are going to be stored as glycogen. They're going to be in your muscles. They're going to be in your liver, doing things that your body does with carbohydrates. Do extra turn into fat? Yes, but that takes a long time, and that takes a crap load of extra calories. So will you weigh more because of the glycogen? Yes, it binds to water. It's going to be heavier, but that doesn't mean that you gained any body fat. It doesn't mean that you're going backwards. It doesn't mean that you ruined your results. It just means that we are loaded up with energy, and it's going to be usable energy for when we do the activity. So if you want to move around when you're on vacation and use some of that glycogen so we don't feel as puffy, so we don't feel as lethargic, like, yes, that's another reason to stay active. Okay. And then there's also salt. We're going to have salty things. It's going to happen. And with that comes water retention. And that's totally normal too, because water keeps us hydrated. It helps us perform our best when we're in the gym, when we're running around doing things on vacation, like playing in the ocean or walking down the beach and stuff like that. We kind of want that. So, not the end of the world. And when in doubt, always remember 3,500. That's how many extra calories you're going to need roughly to put on 1 pound of body fat. Okay. So if you are not eating like a total, for lack of a better word, asshole, like if you are not force feeding yourself saying, well, I'm not going to get to eat this way, so I'm going to make the most of it, and push yourself to that point of almost yakking. If we're not doing that for an entire week, you can't mess yourself up. Okay. You just can't. Physiologically, it does not happen. Will you be heavier? Yes. But for the reasons I stated, not body fat. And if we want some sort of control, because at the end of the day, we do not want vacation to be anxious. We don't want it to be miserable where we're like, I feel like I should be eating better. And all these thoughts are taking away from the experience. If you want a little bit of control, some basic things to follow to help you mentally be in a better place, then one thing you could do is stick to the 1 plate rule. If you're going to have things and you feel like you want to keep some sense of portion control, stick to 1 standard size plate. When you guys have taco night at the beach house, have 1 plate, whatever taco meat you could fit on there, shells and whatever, salad, put it all on the plate, but just have 1 plate. It's so hard to go way overboard when you stick to 1 plate. And then if you want to take it a step further, Focus on PFC, protein, fiber, color. Get some protein on there. If there's chicken, have the chicken. If there's beef, have the beef. If there's fibrous carbs, that'll be a tough one. A lot of times we don't have access to that. It's like we're not usually eating whole grains or uh, nuts and seeds or beans and lentils, but we do usually have fruits and veggies included in some of the stuff that we have. So you could keep it PC, just protein and color. And then that way you have a pretty solid meal. So you're going to feel really good and not super lethargic from eating a bunch of stuff that isn't as nutritionally dense. And then if you want to, I know I've utilized this strategy to make room for a few extra cocktails, or if we're going out to dinner and I know I kind of want to go crazy, I'll do intermittent fasting. It's not a bad strategy. You just don't have breakfast. You go to the beach, and like you have your morning coffee, skip out on breakfast, go to the beach, do your thing, come back, have lunch, and then you go to dinner and you have yourself a day. It's not like you have to overthink this too much, but by skipping that meal, you're saving yourself a few hundred calories if that's something that you want to do. And for those of us that like feeling a little less bloated on the beach, also big win. Okay. I don't want it all focused around our looks, but I know that does play a role mentally for a lot of us. I know myself included. So that's why I would utilize that strategy, because I know my parents are hardcore on the pictures. So I try and do the intermittent fasting during those days. I know they're going to be snapping a crap load of pictures because we're going to be looking back on those photos. And then last but not least, number 3, just get back to the routine. That's the biggest thing that's going to affect your guys' journey, your progress, whatever you got going on, is how fast you get back. Because it's not the week that people are gone, it's the weeks after the fact where it's like, okay, well, I'm still in vacation mode. I'll let it slide another week. And then that turns into 2 weeks. And then that turns into a month. And then we're at Labor Day and we're like, oh, well, that summer was fun. Here's an extra 10 pounds to go with it. And then we're into the holidays and it cycles. As long as we don't go off the wheels and let that happen, then you're good. Just as soon as you're back, get back to your first workout. Just focus on that first one, getting it in. Focus on that first meal that you're going to get that's like, okay, I'm back in the rhythm. I'm back in my routine. And set that standard immediately instead of letting yourself slide. And all will be A-okay. And then last but not least, like I've said to you guys, focus on the big things when it comes to vacation. Number 1, quality time, enjoying yourself with the people that you're with. And number 2 is relaxation. You guys need a week or whatever time you got there to clear your head, to not be stressed, to not be at work, to just deload mentally. And that is going to serve you so much better than having anxiety over all these things that you might be eating, or maybe you're not hitting your workouts. That deloading mentally is going to free you up and make you feel so much better, so much more recharged when you come back, that you're going to attack your workouts, your nutrition, your work, all these things with so much more energy and so much more, I guess you could say, enthusiasm than if you were basically dragging on the burnout by feeling anxious and feeling annoyed that you're not doing these things. So I hope that those big 3 help you guys. I know I'll be utilizing them, but I'd love to hear everybody here. Like, do you have anything to add to that that's worked for you on vacation? I know this is going on the podcast, but this is during a Fit40 weekly call. And one of my favorite things with this group call is getting input from you guys. Sometimes you guys got better tips than me. So anybody want to chime in?
I try to
Courtney?
do all those things that you just said, but I also, when I do have alcohol, I try to do it on the lighter scale. I do the 100-calorie drinks versus a heavy calorie drink and that type of thing. And then while I'm there too, we have the girls workout team that I have here. There's one there, and I usually try to go there once or twice a week just to get that in, and that's my my release and my getaway. And then Chris and I are always walking or riding bikes or something, so we try to constantly move, even though we might eat some grouper bites here or there, or French fries with dinner or whatever, but we try not to focus on it too much. But everything you said was great points.
Love that. And when you say the workouts that you go to, like, are those the FIA ones?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. And
There's one
anybody
down there too.
Okay. Anybody listening, FIA is Females in Action, and it's an awesome group that does free workouts. So something to check out for sure. It's a great community. Anybody else? I know, Courtney, I saw your hand go up.
Yes, it is.
I was just gonna kind of piggyback off of what you said that, I've been with you for over a year now, and last year I tried to follow a lot of what you said. And you're absolutely right, because when I came back to get back in my routine, my body craved it. Like I was excited to get back into the gym, excited to get back into the routine. So putting the work in before helps to keep it consistent afterwards too.
Love that. It does feel good when you take a break and you're like itching to get back in the gym. You're like, let me go. Let me free. Anybody else anything to add? No. All right. Well, this was a good one. Thank you guys for chiming in and adding into that because, like I said, you guys sometimes have much, much better tips than me, but I'm glad that these pay off. And anybody listening who hasn't tried them yet, now you got the proof. Like, I'm not just shouting into the ether saying, do this, do that. I swear. We have people that concur. It works. Okay. Anyway, on to the next thing. And I think I'll keep this in the podcast because I love the BS or nah section. So, does anybody this week have a good BS or nah question? This is where we have things that we heard from coworkers, maybe saw on social media, saw a commercial or the news, and it just, for some reason, it struck that chord like, is this BS? Marissa Bell, what do we got?
Okay, so this was a conversation with relatives. They were saying that if you mix in your, like, I have to take a fiber supplement as prescribed by my doctor. Um, and they said that if you mix it with anything else that you like, your protein juice or your creatine, then your body won't be able to benefit from the protein, the creatine, or whatever else you added to your fiber. And it doesn't make sense to me because if you eat a plate with protein and high fiber carb, you're still getting the protein.
Yeah.
So
And you're right for being suspicious because what I think they probably are mixing up is the fact that like insoluble fiber is not digestible. So that's the whole reason it works is because you don't digest it. It just works its way through your GI tract and it clears things out and it pushes things along. But that doesn't mean everything else doesn't get absorbed. That just means that doesn't. And even then, the insoluble fiber can sit in your gut and ferment and you could still pull calories from it. So you don't necessarily get nothing from it. But when it comes to the protein side of things, like if you're having your creatine, your protein, it's just going to slow the absorption rate down, and that's why we encourage balanced meals like this, where you get your protein, your fiber, your or your color, and all that stuff. Because when you have things like that, it slows down the digestion, and that extra time that it takes gives our body time to feel full. And on top of that, most of those foods take a little bit longer to eat than, say, like drinking your calories, for example. Like having a soda doesn't take any time at all, but chewing on a piece of chicken, eating like a salad takes time. And when we're able to extend that meal time, you fill up on a lot less food. So it has a lot of benefits and we want to keep doing that. And it's definitely not a reason to not incorporate fiber because fiber is one of the best things ever. Like if we can get over that 25-gram mark, it only gets better, 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 better. So very strong case for fiber, especially all the new stuff coming out now that they're finding as far as health benefits. So get as much fiber as possible that your body can handle and tolerate and not
yeah,
send
of
you to the
course.
bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a given.
Yeah. And if we're talking about absorption too, like as far as your body doing its thing the best, ideally we want to get as many different types of fiber as possible. Again, assuming none of them
Mhm.
are pissing off your gut, more fiber, more different types are better because it feeds that good gut bacteria that does its job and makes you feel energized and utilizes these foods the best that they can be.
Yeah, actually, my doctor told me not to rely only on the supplement to make sure that
Hmm.
I'm incorporating fiber into my diet, but that I need the extra help. So I do fiber in my plates, and then I drink up my little fiber drink that I put
Nice.
everything into. I put the protein, the creatine, because otherwise I forget.
Yeah. And it could be a good time now to do like the challenge where you get all 5 types in your meals. So do you remember the 5 types of fiber? Like 5 sources?
The 5 sources? Uh, no, I don't.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't know how long it's been since I mentioned them, but we got whole grains, then we got legumes and lentils, then we got nuts and seeds, then fruits and veggies. Now, veggies take a crap ton to get enough fiber. They're in there because they like per pound have a lot of fiber, but it's really not a good way to get a ton of fiber in because it just doesn't have enough calories. It doesn't have enough in there. But if we're getting things like berries, like fruit, that'll have a much bigger punch and get you like 8 to 10 grams right there. Whereas like a pound of broccoli would probably get you like 3. Okay. And then when it comes to whole grains, that's like anytime we're having bread or pasta or anything, just try and get stuff that's like whole grain or red lentil or chickpea or things like that. And that'll bump it up. When it comes to what was it, beans and legumes and lentils, like if you could throw some beans in for Chipotle, or you could throw some lentils in when you're at Cava or you're cooking at home, that helps. And then nuts and seeds, like when you're having a salad, sprinkle a little on there, maybe some avocado, that'll get you a bunch of fiber there. So when you get all 5, it becomes a lot easier to hit the daily target of over 25 grams.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad the turn that took. Any other BS or nah? Do we hear anything at the workplace or online?
Derek put one in the chat.
Okay. So let's see. BS or nah, high ticket biohacking red light beds, oxygen chambers, beneficial or nah? I mean, if that doesn't set off red flags, I don't know what else will. A lot of the crap that you see is just a bunch of rich people that are too dumb to know the difference if anything works or not. But one thing that you see a lot with entrepreneurs, especially these people that have these massive companies that are super successful, they drink the Kool-Aid hard. Like they will go all in, regardless if it's like evidence-based or not. Like they're just like, you tell me this, I feel good doing it, I'm all in. And then they swear by it, they make it their whole identity. And then you get people like Gary Brecka making millions of dollars, and he has no idea what he's talking about half the time, let alone what he's preaching when it comes to the red light beds or the oxygen chamber crap. But he doesn't even know basic English. Like he uses words without even knowing what they mean. So, but these dudes that happen to have a lot of money, like Dana White, Joe Rogan, all these other people, like they don't have a clue. So, BS or not, certain foods help boost metabolism. Not BS, surprisingly, but not that significant that it's like, oh, if I have these foods, it's going to burn all this fat. Now, when it comes to certain foods burn or boosting your metabolism, we want to think of thermic effect of food. So the thermic effect of food is how many calories it takes to break down a certain food. Basically, how many calories does it take for your body to do the processing, which is why when you have minimally processed or unprocessed foods, those burn up more calories when you eat them compared to things that are highly processed. So another reason that we want to have more whole foods or minimally processed foods, because you will, like protein, for example, you burn a crap ton more calories compared to, say, fat, for example, because fat really doesn't take that much to break down. We just absorb it. And then when it comes to carbohydrates, if they don't have any fiber, it goes right through us. But if it has fiber, it takes a little bit more time to work its way through our gut, and that takes calories. So that's why we're always preaching like protein and fiber and color, because that stuff takes a while and it takes up calories. Good question. Bet that didn't go how you thought, did you? What's that? Was it? No, the other guys. Bet that didn't go how you thought it would, did you? If you guys haven't seen the other guys, that's the homework for next week. Any other questions? Or any other BS or not? Going once, going twice, and sold. All right. Well, that's that for that. Thank you guys for asking your questions, and I'm looking forward to doing that again next week.